ready. We're ready. We are ready, and it looks like we're back. We are back from the short break. We're going to look at we're going to go back to 7.7, consideration of a letter of support, AB 418. Patrick Sullivan, please continue.
All right, so just to summarize this item, there was a Supreme Court case, Tyler v. Hennepin County, which raised issues regarding potential vulnerability in California's Chapter 8 tax sale law. Many groups have raised the concern that this could result in excess proceeds being denied to the rightful owner because the Treasurer Tax Collector and the Board of Supervisors could set a price below market value. This bill ensures that everyone involved in the Chapter 8 sale, all parties of interest, including the property owner, would have an opportunity to be heard at a hearing before the Board of Supervisors. This bill was worked on primarily, at least initially, by the California Association of Treasurer Tax Collectors, then as part of a joint working group with several other counties, RCRC, and other parties as well. So it has a broad coalition of support. I would note there is attached to the item a letter of support from RCRC, CSAC, and the urban counties of California. I would also note that the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association came out in support of the bill. I was actually at the hearing yesterday in Sacramento for this and provided testimony on behalf of the state association. So at this point, this bill offers a realistic route to go forward with Chapter 8 sales. There are other proposals in the past, or there have been other proposals in the past, and there is a competing bill in the Senate. The past proposals and the competing bill raise a lot of logistical hurdles and technical issues that could effectively block us from doing Chapter 8 sales. So I would encourage your board to support AB 418 as a way for us to retain the Chapter 8 sale as a tool available to us in addressing our tax defaulted properties. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
So I'm going to open it up to the public first and see if there's anyone that would like to comment on this. Hearing none, I'll bring it back to the board for the questions, and it looks like Supervisor Spatier, you have your pen up.
Yeah, thanks for bringing this. Happy to support it. The Senate bill, I almost find it more important to maybe write a letter saying that we are not in support of that to make sure that we continue having access. That worries me.
I would advise that the State Association for the Treasurer Tax Collectors is carefully monitoring that Senate bill, as are the other parties involved. And I think the hope is that as this bill moves forward, that bill will drop. But certainly I will return to your board if it does not.
Any other comments? All we need is action.
We ready for a motion?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion that we approve the letter and authorize the chair to sign.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0-0. Next, 7.9, consideration of resolution authorizing the chair of the board to approve and direct the tax collector to sell at public auction via internet tax defaulted properties, which is subject to the power to sell in accordance with Chapter 7 of Part 6 of Division 1 of the California Revenue and Taxation Code, and approving sales below minimum price in specified cases. Treasurer Tax Collector Patrick Sullivan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This resolution is the authorizing resolution for the tax sale, as was stated. At this point in time, it is anticipated the sale would be commencing on May 30th and run through June 3rd. This resolution is the same as prior resolutions that have been approved by your board, just with the different list of properties that's attached. At this point, I think given the previous discussions, the appropriate background's probably been provided. If you have particular questions about properties that are included in this sale or any other part of the process, please let me know, and I'm happy to answer them.
That was April 30th through May 3rd?
May 30th through June 3rd.
Oh.
All right, so I'm going to open it up to the public first and see if there's anyone that has any comments about this item. Anyone on Zoom? All right, I'll bring it back to the board. Supervisor Sabatier?
Yeah, just a quick question. That weird salamander piece that we pulled from the previous one has not been added back into this one, right?
Salamander, I'm sorry, is that the
that weird overlay one in the city of Clear Lake?
The Clear Lake parcel? I think it cut through 7 different properties. I do not believe it is. Okay. I will make
I don't think it is. I just wanted to double check.
Okay.
I wish there was a map to be able to really tell, but it's
Yeah, it was our intention to pull that until the city determined what it wished to do, with the caveat that I think we're only a year or two away from our deadline to auction it if the city does not come up with an alternative solution. So it was my intention to give them the max amount of time that we could.
Okay,
But I'll verify that property is not included.
please, thank you.
All right.
And with that, I offer the resolution.
Resolution has been offered.
All right, Supervisor Owen,
Aye.
Supervisor Sabatier,
Aye.
Supervisor Rasmussen.
Aye.
Supervisor Pyska.
Yes.
And Supervisor Crandall.
Yes, resolution passes. Thank you very much, Patrick, for that. We will go ahead and move on to 7.5. Let me read that, sorry. Wow. So it's consideration of following advisory board appointments: Animal Control Advisory Board and Lake County Child Care Planning and Development Council. We'll start out with Animal Control Advisory Board. It's 2 vacancies. There are 2 seats, just 2 vacancies. Bruce Robinson he's a new applicant for member at large, and Janet Zumwalt for new applicant District 1. I don't know if there's any comment here. I know that's in your district, Supervisor Owen.
No.
All right. And so I'll open it up to the public for any comments on this appointment. Not seeing any, bring it back to the board for action.
Chair, I move to approve Bruce Robinson to Member at Large Animal Control and Janet Zumwalt to District 1 Animal Control.
A second?
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next is the Lake County Child Care Planning and Development Council, 5 vacancies. 1 community representative, 2 consumer, 1 child care provider, and 1 discretionary appointee. Looks like we have 5. Jamie Castaldo, community representative, and Angel Copa, discretionary appointee, Sunny Dawn, new applicant, child care provider, Megan Handy, incumbent consumer, and Sulema Perez Cruz, incumbent consumer. Jamie and Angel are also incumbents. So with that, are there any questions or comments about these appointments? And so I'll open it up to the public to see if there are any comments, any on Zoom, and I will bring it back to the board for action.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the appointments of those that you listed and in the positions you listed.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Did I miss any non-timed items except for calendars?
No, there are not.
Okay. And so I will open it up to calendars, 7.1. I'm going to start, and I'm going to forego my calendar until next week. So if there's anyone else that would like to go next.
I'll forego mine as well. Time's sake.
Oh, we can do that. Oh, I have a bunch of fire meetings coming up in the next few days, and then getting back with constituents. I have Canocti tomorrow, the Canocti Summit Fire, and I have 4 meetings. I think 2 of them are fire, and then I have Caltrans and Recreation on Thursday. So,
All right.
I'm going to give you a brief update of some of the things that I did on the trip that were outside of the conference, because I think they're really important. So Friday, the first day that we were there, I joined Heidi Hall from Nevada County and Ann Cottrell from Napa County with Paragon. And we took several meetings with Senate banking staffers on the majority side and the minority side, with the push to urge the federal government to take a role in the insurance crisis, because they haven't. They continue to say that's a state issue, but it is not. All the states are really having a hard time, and we are using federal dollars to mitigate the risk and increase insurability. Those were my arguments from the work we're doing here. And then I did meet with Senator Padilla directly about the $10 million in frozen USDA community wildfire defense grants that is impacting our community right now. These are projects with Clerk, SSCRA, and some other, and the RCD. Those are projects that are on hold, and we really need to get them done before fire season. And then the FEMA Reform Task Force which, by the way, I just want to give a huge shout out to staff. The report that they compiled telling our story was one of the best ones that they received, and it was great to be able to put that in everybody's hands. Some of the other counties produced data, but ours was the only one that had a story. So very big thanks to everybody that worked on that. But we met directly with White House staffers, and the idea was, well, there was 18 of us elected from around the country, and some other staffers from different offices. Everybody agrees that we need FEMA. FEMA does need some improvements. So kind of told the stories of what's in our story. I think it was impactful, so I'm glad I was there. And I think I'll stop there, but there are some things I think I'll bring up next week that I'm working with Congressman Thompson's office. There are quite a number of leases that are listed on the DOJ website that for closures that will directly impact a lot of the projects that are very important to this board. So when I have more information back from Luca, maybe we can talk about it then. And then this week I have to, tomorrow we're having our Fireway Summit with Canocti Fire Safe Council, and then the water for fire suppression town hall in Lower Lake. And then I'm driving to Chico because there is a regional meeting for CSAC on Thursday, and I'm presenting on the panel for disaster preparedness. And then I will be back Thursday night, which you're going to cover that.
Which one?
The rec agency, 4 o'clock on Thursday. I probably won't be back in time, so you'll be able to do that. You got the invite?
Yes.
And then I've got the Sunrise Rotary in the evening, so I'll be back for that one for sure. Those were the big ones that I wanted to get to.
All right.
I'll pen mine until next week.
All right. All right. With that, we will go ahead and move on to closed session. Just read them off anyhow, even though. So 8.1, public employee evaluation, register of voters. 8.2, public employee evaluation, air pollution control officer. We conducted 8.3 already. 8.4, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation pursuant to government code section 54956.9D1 for proceeding number P77 Potter Valley Hydroelectric Project. With that, we'll go into closed session. Should I announce that we're going to be doing 8.1 and 8.2, the evaluations next week, or a date to be determined. So with that, we'll go into closed session. Thank you.